local people. Important issues. CBS 10 WILM's weekly focus on the Lower Cape Fear region. This is Byline Wilmington with your host, Don Ansell.
Welcome and thank you for joining us. Before we introduce our guest on this special edition of Byline Wilmington, we have a little clip we want you to watch. For most of you, it'll be very familiar and it'll evoke some more memories. Take a look.
Used to be sad, used to be shy. Funniest thing, the saddest part is I never knew why. Keeping myself for nothing was my favorite sport. I had to take off and start enjoying, 'cause life's too short. There's a new girl in town, 'cause I'm feeling good. Got a smile, got a song for the neighborhood. And it's all great when you stand on your own 2 feet. And this girl's here to say, with some luck and love, life's gonna be so sweet.
Well, she's one of the few performers who does it all. She starred in the groundbreaking TV sitcom Alice. She is a Tony Award winner for her brilliant performance on Broadway in Neil Simon's Broadway Bound. She's a serious actress. She sings, she dances, she's funny, and she's currently making us laugh and breaking our hearts in the Red Barn Studio Theater's production of Driving Miss Daisy. Linda Lavin is with us one-on-one. Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
I love to see that.
I love seeing
It's
it
such a-
too.
And I know you're born in Maine
Portland, Maine, yes.
and have been on the stage since you were 5, right?
You know, I don't know when the actual debut on an actual stage was, but let's put it this way. My mother said I could sing before I spoke.
So your parents encouraged you.
My mother, yes, did. My mother was a singer, an opera singer, who had a very brief but dazzling career in New York and then gave it up to have a second child, which was me. And then she moved back to Portland, Maine, but she kept singing. And of course, there was music always in the house. And I was born, and she said I stood up in my crib and sang "God Bless America" before I could talk. I don't know if that's true.
I remember you singing God Bless America at the historic USO building, actually.
You remember that?
I
Well,
do.
if the first part of my life, when I was singing before I was 2, I thought that I wrote that song. So
Did you always know what you wanted? Did you always have a
I
sense?
always knew that what gave me the greatest pleasure in life was performing. Yeah, I didn't think that it was going to be appropriate for me to try to make a living out of it. That was not welcomed in my home, in my family of origin. And then when my sister, who's 9 years older than I, decided she wanted to be an actress, I was just horrified. I thought there's not room on the planet for both of us. So I kept my desires a secret for a long time, because my sister went out into the world, and she had a brief but dazzling career as an actor on stage, in repertory, and in television. And my mother thought that I should be a French interpreter at the UN, until my French teacher said, "Are you crazy? That's harder than being in show business." So I thought I'd go for the less harder thing, which was what I love.
And how did you actually go for it? What did you do?
Well, you know, when you say were you on stage when you were 5, I don't know what the age was, but I was in productions at the Jewish Community Center in Portland, Maine, in whatever I could get into. Whatever plays or musicals they did, I was there auditioning all through school. I was in school plays. I played I wanted to be, of course, Alice in Wonderland, but I got the part of the Cheshire Cat or the White Rabbit. I can't even remember anymore. You know, it's like you look back at your life and some of it is so blurry. So, you know, and I don't know what the truth is. Was I the Cheshire Cat or the White Rabbit? I know I wasn't Alice because Judy Wheeler was Alice. Oh, I was furious and horrified.
Let Julie Wheeler look at you now.
Well, Judy does come and see me in plays, and she's a travel agent. So, you know, it didn't make a career choice for her to be Alice.
But from Maine to the New York entertainment scene.
But I was Alice later on television. Isn't that ironic?
It is.
Yes, Judy.
But from Maine to the New York entertainment scene,
So
it's
from
quite
Maine
a
to
journey.
New York, well, it's quite a journey. And then I went to, my mother wanted me to go to college. Both my parents wanted me to go to college. And I thought that would keep me, you know, it would detain the New York trip getting on Broadway. But it was essential to my family that I pursue an education and have something to fall back on, was the expression, if this theater thing doesn't work
So
out.
Broadway theater was kind of what you were.
Oh
you had-
yeah, I mean,
you went
it
to
was
perform.
theater that I was performing in as a kid and all through school.
So-
in school productions and little theater. Portland, Maine is very much like Wilmington. It has a lot of theater, a lot of music, a lot of art. So there were lots of places to perform. Then I went away to school to be a French interpreter. And until the French teacher said, forget about it, it's
not
way
for you.
harder. It's not for you. And I went to William and Mary. And I got to Williamsburg, to this lovely college where the theater had just burned down the year before. And they had a wonderful, strong theater department. And I auditioned for a play called Dial M for Murder.
Yeah.
And I got the part of Margot. I got the lead. And they put me on the cover of the magazine, of the newspaper, the Flat Hat, at William and Mary. Freshman gets lead, first time in 15 years that they've given the freshman a lead in the play. So I went to Williamsburg knowing no one. I left Portland, Maine, where my mother was very well known, and I came to the South and started a new life knowing no one, and that started my life in the theater.
So when you finally got to New York,
Okay, so then I finished school,
Right.
but during my school years, I got my equity card in the summer by doing summer stock in New Jersey, where you're familiar with New
Sure.
Jersey. I worked in summer theater, the Tents, did 10 shows in 10
Music
weeks. I
Circus.
was in the chorus, the Music Circus.
remember it.
Remember?
Yeah.
Camden County Music Circus. So I could sing, so I could get into choruses. So I did that, graduated from school in 3.5 years. I accelerated because I was really in a hurry to get to New York before I was too old. You know, it was all about get on with it. And so I got to New York, and that was the beginning of my career in office temps and Bloomingdale's.
and we're going to talk about how you first got noticed. We're talking to Linda Lavin. We'll be right back.